Help me reach 3,000 subscribers. Hit like and leave a comment. I really do read them all. When I reached for her after work, just to wrap an arm around her shoulders and say I was home, she stepped back like I'd tried to hand her a bill. She looked me dead in the face and said, "If you want touch, earn it." I stood there with my lunchbox in my hand and gravel dust still on my boots. "That a joke?" "It's a standard," Jenna replied. She picked up her phone and started scrolling like she'd posted it on a wall, and I was free to read or not. I set the lunchbox on the counter, kept my voice steady. "You're saying closeness is now performance-based. Don't twist it," she shot back. "I need to feel valued. You got a ring and a house key," I told her. "That's not coupon value." She shrugged and turned away. Then maybe raised the bar. If I'd known where that line was headed, if I'd seen the whole board instead of one square, I would have changed more than my shirt that night. I rinsed the coffee mug I'd used in the truck and set it upside down to dry. "Dinner. I already ate," she said. "You were late." "Traffic on I-40, I said. "Next time I'll move it with my hands." She didn't answer. She just wandered to the living room, put on a show, and left me to the quiet. I ate the leftover chicken cold, standing at the counter, wondering how something basic had turned into a contest I didn't sign up for. I went to bed early. She came in late and stayed on her side like we were roommates who'd lost the lease. Morning made everything simple. She slid a stack of envelopes across the kitchen island while I was frying eggs. "Can you take care of these?" "Utilities, phone, a couple cards." I flipped the eggs and didn't look up. "Earn it and pay them yourself." The silence had a weight to it. She blinked. "Excuse me." "You set the rules," I said, plating the eggs. "I'm playing by them. You want access to me, it costs. You want access to my wallet, that's free? Doesn't add up." "That's petty," she said. "You're punishing me." I cut a piece of toast. "I'm setting terms. Adult to adult. You always said we're a team." "Teams pass the ball both ways," I replied. "You benched me last night and asked me to buy tickets this morning." She folded her arms. "So what? You're not paying bills now." "I'll cover the mortgage and the joint stuff like we agreed," I said. "Your personal accounts are yours. Starting today." "You're serious?" I took a bite, chewed, swallowed. "I had the auto pay on your card. I'm turning it off after breakfast. Groceries we split. Car insurance, your name, your payment. I'll send you the numbers." "You're really doing this," she muttered, like she was trying to catch up. "Yep. You're making me choose." "You already did when you made me an errand to earn," I said. "I'm done earning what should have been ours." She tapped the envelopes with her fingernail. "You're going to feel stupid when I remember this." "I've felt worse for dumber reasons," I told her. "I'll be fine." She was staring like she was trying to find the angle. Then she reached for a mug, poured coffee, and with her back to me asked, "You still taking me to dinner Friday?" "No," I answered. "I'm going to the gym. You can make your own plans." "That's childish." "It's clarity," I said. "Respect first. The rest follows." She set the mug down a little too loud. "So I'm cut off." "You're cut loose," I said. "Big difference." Her phone buzzed on the counter. She glanced, typed fast, then slid it aside. I wiped the pan, put dishes in the sink, and grabbed my keys. "Text me if you need the account info on the utilities," I added. "I'll transfer them to your login." She didn't move. "You'll regret this." "Maybe," I said. "But not today." I walked out, locked up, and sat in my truck as a calendar alert popped on my phone. Kelsey's brunch. Both of us. She'd added it overnight. I hadn't agreed to anything. I stared at the screen and laughed once, no humor in it. She was moving the game to a crowd. Fine. I'm comfortable in front of people too. Work was steady. The guys joked like always. I knocked out a sight walk, sent 2 bids, had a sandwich with mustard and too much onion. Around 3, Jenna texted, "We need to talk tonight." "Sure," I replied. 6:30. When I got home, the place smelled like lemon and roast chicken. The table was set, actual plates, napkins folded, the whole thing. It was a picture I knew by heart from better years, a domestic peace offering. She came out of the kitchen with a bowl of salad like nothing had happened. "I figured you'd be tired," she said, and handed me a beer she'd wiped the condensation off. "Sit. Eat." I pulled out the chair, but didn't sit yet. "Looks good." "It is good," she said. "I went to the market. I was thinking yesterday was rough. I said things I shouldn't have. This is me fixing it." "Appreciated," I told her. I sat, took a sip, and waited. She took her seat opposite. So, about those auto pays. Maybe don't rush that. I already did it. I replied, cutting into the chicken. Tonight. She blinked like she hadn't expected that. 10 minutes after I got to the office, I said, I also switched your card's logins back to you. Password reset is in your email. She forced a smile. Wow. You jumped. I'm quick when I see a pattern. It's a blip, Mark, she said. I was stressed. Kelsey and I had a thing. I was venting. You vented in my face, I said, with rules attached. I apologized. You cooked, I answered. Different languages. I like both, but one doesn't replace the other. She picked up her fork, pretend casual. You know I didn't mean that. She waved a hand, like the word was somewhere above us. You said what you meant, I told her calm. Now we're dealing with it. So you're really telling me to come up with money on my own this month, she said. I'm telling you to handle your responsibilities like I handle mine. That's not how it's been. It is now. She watched me for a long second. What about Friday? We can still do dinner. My treat. I'm at the gym, I said. New program. I told you. We can go after. I'm home by 9, I said. Shower, sleep, early start Saturday. A thin laugh. Since when do you have an early start Saturday? Since I reopened the shop side jobs, I answered. Backlogged repairs. I'm catching them up. So you're busy now. I'm productive, I said. There's a difference. She nodded like she was listening, but her eyes were already somewhere else, calculating. Okay, then Sunday brunch at Kelsey's is perfect. We'll reset. Everyone will be there. You can show up as the bigger person. I'll swing by for an hour, I said. Then I'm out. You can stay, she pushed. I'll be out, I repeated. She sighed. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Actually, I said, I'm making it clear. She put her fork down. I miss us. Me too, I said. Us as in two. Not me as in sponsor. She flinched at the word, then pasted on a soft look. Then let me fix it. Dinner, movie, and I'll handle my bills this month, okay? Handle them from now on, I said. Not a one-time show. She leaned over and placed her hand on mine like a ribbon on a box. Deal. Words are free, I said, sliding my hand away and reaching for the salt. I'll take actions. She withdrew, irritation flickering before she smoothed it. You'll see. After we ate, she brought up a streaming show and tucked in closer than the night before, like the couch had rules and not her. I didn't push her away. I also didn't chase it. I watched the clock. At 8:45 I stood. Gym bags in the truck, I said. I'll be up early. Good night. Night, she murmured, too sweet. The spoonful of sugar version of strategy. On Sunday, I pulled into Kelsey's neighborhood on time, parked 2 houses down, and walked in with a box of donuts. Kelsey, tall, fast talker, always a glass in her hand, met me at the door. Mark, look at you, bringing carbs, she said, hugging me like it was a photo op. Jenna's in the backyard. The patio was packed. Wives at the table, guys clumped near the grill, kids doing laps. Jenna stood by the cooler, polished, perfect, running the room. She waved me over with a smile that told me she'd like the performance to begin now. You made it, she chimed, kissing the air near my cheek. I said I would, I told her. Everyone, this is my determined husband, she announced, light and bright. He's on a discipline kick. New workouts, new rules. Won't buy a croissant unless he does 50 push-ups first. A few laughs. I looked at her and let the line slide off. Coffee? I asked Kelsey. Kitchen, she said, already moving, holding the door. At the counter, her husband Taylor bumped shoulders with me. You and Jenna good? He asked quietly. Taylor's a slow talker, solid guy, owns a flooring outfit. He's seen couples burn up over less. We'll find out, I said. We stepped back outside. The table talk had shifted. Jenna, eyes bright, had a little circle leaning in. I'm just saying, she said to no one and everyone. Partnership means making a woman feel special, not basic, not practical. Michelle, sharp tongue, loves a pile-on, jumped in. Men forget it. We have to set standards. Careful, I said as I took a chair. Standards cut both ways. Jenna glanced at me like I'd missed my cue. Oh, he knows. He's big on rules this week. I looked at her. This week, she tilted her head. Well, the whole earn it thing really got to him. She smiled at the group. He quoted it back this morning like a lawyer. Taylor spoke, neutral. People hear themselves better when words come back. That's so. Jenna said, no longer smiling. Kelsey poured orange juice with extra flair. Anyway, can we toast? To couples who do the work. Toast away, I said. We all raised cups. Jenna lifted hers a little higher, eyes on me. To showing up. And to men who remember that affection is not a participation trophy. A ripple of laughter. Not loud, but present. She let it land. I put my cup down, watched her, and answered steady. To women who remember that affection is not a vending machine. Michelle snorted. Here we go. Jenna's voice lost the sugar. My point is simple, Mark. If you want more from me, I need more from you. That's how it works. I leaned back. More what? Effort. Attention. Romance. Money for the things that matter to me, she said, ticking them off like a budget review. Not everything practical. Things that make me feel. Paid. I offered. She fixed me with a look. That's cheap. No. I replied. It's accurate. Kelsey tried to laugh to ease it. You two are spicy today. Jenna decided not to ease. Last night, for example, she said to the group, he told me I have to cover my own bills now. Like we're roommates. I watched faces. The wives leaned in. The guys looked at their shoes. Taylor watched me. I told you I'd keep the roof and the joint stuff, I said. Your personal bills are yours. And his gym membership is joint, she fired back. That's my bill, I said. I pay it. She waved a hand like she was scoring points. So you get your things, and I get a lecture. You get a boundary, I said. Same as me. Michelle leaned her chin on her hand. Why not just buy her flowers and shut up? Because flowers don't fix disrespect, I answered. The word cracked the air like glass. Jenna's face went flat. Disrespect, she repeated. Because I said earn it? That's disrespect. You meant it, I told her. I heard it. Kelsey tried again. Hey, this is brunch, not court. Jenna pivoted to the crowd. Ladies, imagine your man touches you after a long day, and you say, show me you care, and he responds by shutting off your accounts. Romantic, right? A couple women made little noises. Michelle laughed. Ouch. I set my cup down clean. You left out the part where you made closeness a prize, I said. Then handed me a stack of bills. I connected the dots. That's so dramatic, Jenna said. No one's buying it. I looked around. I wasn't trying to win a room. But the room needed a witness. Let's call it in plain terms, I told her. If you attach price tags to being with me, don't be shocked when I stop swiping. She smiled sharp, decided to go for it. Here's plain. If you want me soft, fund the life that makes me soft. Taylor coughed. Kelsey looked away. The backyard went quiet on a dime. Even Michelle stopped smiling. I stood up. Not fast, not slow. I pushed my chair in and left my cup exactly where it had been. Then let's put it simplest, I said, voice level. I'm not in the market for my own marriage. I looked at Taylor. Thanks for the invite. I looked at Kelsey. Food's good. I looked at Jenna last. From this minute, my door's not open to negotiations at your price. You want me? Show me respect consistently. You want an audience? You just had one. We're done here. She blinked, wrong-footed. Sit down. I shook my head, pulled the truck keys from my pocket, and let them hang from my finger. Watch me leave. Michelle whispered. Dang. I walked out through the kitchen, dropped the donuts on the counter so the kids still got sugar, and stepped into the bright noon like the day had been waiting for me to catch up. In the driveway, Taylor caught me. You sure? He asked. Yeah, I said. You want me to talk to her? He offered, careful. No. He nodded. You're a good man. I'm a clear man, I said. Good follows, or it doesn't. I drove home, windows down. On the way, I called a locksmith I'd used on a job. You free for a rekey in an hour? I asked. For you, yes, he said. Text me the address. Already did, I told him. The house was quiet when I unlocked it. I grabbed storage bins from the garage, opened the closet in the guest room, and started sorting. Clothes. Shoes. The stand mixer she loved more as a statement than a tool. The plant she kept killing and reviving. I labeled every bin with painter's tape and a marker, clean and simple. No drama. No tears. No speeches to the air. Just decisions turning into motion. The locksmith showed up 20 minutes early. 6 locks, he asked. Front, back, side, garage, shop door, shed, I said. Make 2 sets, 1 for me, 1 for a safe. He got to work. I boxed the last of her bathroom stuff and set it by the door. My neighbor Dave, retired, lawn immaculate, sees everything. wandered over as the locksmith finished. Everything okay? Dave asked, resting his arms on the fence. Redecorating the key situation, I said. Dave nodded like he knew exactly what that meant. Need me to keep an eye? Please, I said. Her things are going on the porch. If she shows up, tell her to email me for pickup details. You sure you don't want to be here when she comes? He asked. I won't be, I said. The locksmith handed me the new keys. Test them, he said. We went lock to lock. Everything worked. I paid him, tipped him for the rush, and shook his hand. He looked like he had questions and decided he didn't need answers. I stacked the bins neatly along the porch wall, out of the rain. I put her photo albums on top. I sent one message. Your belongings are on the porch. Email me for anything else. Communication is email only. The call started 2 minutes later. I didn't answer. Texts poured in. Where are you? What are you doing? Don't be dramatic. Then voice messages. Then a second number when she realized I'd set hers to silent. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, set exceptions for the guys at work and Dave, and went to the shop. At the shop, Paul, my lead tech, bad haircut, good instincts, looked up from the bench. You look like you moved a house. Just a person, I said. He whistled low. She pushed the wrong buttons? She tried to charge me to press them, I said. Paul grunted. You'll sleep better. That's the point, I said. We cleaned carburetors and replaced a motor on a small compressor. Work straightens the mind. Around 4, I checked my phone. 42 texts, 9 voice messages. The last voice message was calmer than the first. Mark, Jenna said, voice syruped. I lost it at brunch. I embarrassed you. I know. Please come home. I made dinner. We can talk. I'll pay my stuff. I just come back. That was the first soft turn. The mid-turn they write songs about. I could see the pattern moving like lights on a panel. I sent one email, calm, business, pickup of porch items until 9 p.m. today. After that, schedule a time via email. Please do not enter the property without scheduling. At 6:30, Dave called. She's on the porch. She rang the bell twice. Thanks, I said. I'm not there. You want me to say anything? Just the thing about email, I said, and that the property's secured. Got it. 15 minutes later, my phone buzzed again. An email, I'm outside. Can we talk? Please. Then a second, I'm sorry. I should have never said that. I felt unseen. Then another, I'll do anything to make this right. I'll handle money. I'll stop jokes. Just come out. I typed, then deleted, then typed again. Boundaries are not punishments. They're conditions for connection. We'll handle logistics by email this week. She replied with a paragraph about history and vows and how I was being cold. I didn't answer. At 9, Dave called again. She left. Took half the bins. Said she'll be back tomorrow. Thanks. Mark. Yeah. You did right. I did clear, I said. At 10, I slept hard and clean. Monday morning at 7:05, I drove to the county clerk's office before work. I filled out the forms I could fill out without lawyers and booked the rest with a service that handles paperwork. I walked back to the truck with a stamped copy and a straight back. No threats. No drama. Just action. At 8, I sent Jenna a final logistical email. Per my morning filing, we will separate finances fully. Please remove personal items by Friday, 5 p.m. Remaining items will be donated. Please return your key if you have any copies. Do not enter the house. Schedule any visit in advance. Communication remains email only. At 9, I told the crew, I'm going off-grid for personal calls this week. If you need me, come to the shop. Paul raised an eyebrow. Big week. Clear week, I said. By noon, the second illusion rolled in. Jenna emailed a photo of a handwritten note on our kitchen table. She must have taken it last night through the window, trying to tug at nostalgia. The note said, I'm making your favorite tonight. No jokes. No asks. Just us. Come home. The email added, I'll pay every bill this month. I'll Venmo you for the times you covered me. Let's reset. Brunch was a mess. I hate that I did that. Please. There was tenderness in it. And bait. Both can live in the same sentence. I typed a reply that would have been a life raft 2 months ago. I deleted it. I typed the one that matched my lane now. Thank you for the message. I'm not available tonight. My standard is respect without conditions. If that's mutual, the behavior will show over time. For now, logistics only. She wrote back, sharper. So after one mistake, you're ending a marriage. Got it. I answered, it wasn't one. It was a system. I changed mine. After work, I drove past the house and saw the porch empty. She'd picked up the rest. Good. I installed a mail slot inside so packages didn't have to sit on the stoop. I moved my clothes from our bedroom to the guest room. Not sentimental, just clean. I changed the garage door code. I took the photo frames off the mantle and boxed the ones that were her side of the story. Tuesday, she tried a different angle, group text. She pinged the brunch circle with, Mark locked me out. Overreaction much. Michelle chimed with a popcorn emoji. Kelsey wrote, let's not do this here. Taylor texted me privately, you good? Better than yesterday, I replied. That afternoon, Jenna emailed, I'll come at 6 to get the last boxes in the garage. I wrote back, Dave will be on the porch. He'll open the garage. I won't be there. You can't even face me, she sent. I faced you, I answered. Sunday at brunch. At 6, I was at the shop, replacing a belt on a table saw. My phone buzzed. A voicemail from Kelsey, surprisingly earnest. Mark, talk to her, please. She's spiraling. I didn't call. I finished the belt, wiped my hands, and locked up. Wednesday, the quiet held. I knocked out a job early, took the crew to a diner, ate eggs and hash, and listened to Paul tell a story about his kids' baseball team. On my way back, I saw Jenna's car parked 2 blocks from the house. She was waiting. I drove past without stopping, parked at the shop, and sent an email. Please do not wait outside the property. Any remaining logistics can be scheduled. She replied with a wall of text. I skimmed. The theme was I was cold. The subtext was the price went up now that I'd said no. I didn't argue with either. I reinforced the plan. Thursday morning, she left a small gift bag on the porch. Dave stood guard, arms crossed, unimpressed. Inside, a framed photo of us laughing at a beach years back, and a note. I can be warm if you show me you care. Pay the overdue, and I'll be sweet again. There it was, stripped of the pretty words. The point of her plan was never invisible. It just needed direct light. I put the photo in a drawer to deal with later. I put the note in the trash. I sent a 2-line email. Do not leave items on the porch. Respect the boundary. Friday 5 p.m. is the deadline for any remaining items. Friday at 4:50, she emailed, I'm 5 minutes away. Dave will meet you. I wrote back. At 6, he texted. She cried. Left with 2 small boxes. Drove off fast. Thanks, I replied. I owe you a steak. Just most straight lines, he sent back. That night, I sat at the kitchen table, looked at the stamped paperwork, and felt the simplest relief. No buzzing, no negotiations, no scoreboard. I wasn't mad. I wasn't happy. I was done. Saturday morning, I went to the shop early. I put on music low and started building a maple bench for a client. The wood did what wood always does. It told the truth back to you. Measure twice, cut once. Honor the line. Don't force it. At 9, Paul walked in with 2 coffees. You look lighter. I am, I said. You talked to her at all? Email only. Good, he said, then lifted the lid on the table saw. You mind if I use this? Go ahead. Midday, my phone lit with a call from an unknown number. I let it go. Then a text. It's Michelle. Answer. I stared at the name for a second. Then I typed, email me. She replied with 3 dots, then nothing. Then an email popped in. You blew up your life over pride. She wanted you to show up for her. That's all. I wrote back. She wanted to charge me for access to my own marriage. That's not showing up. That's paying a toll. Michelle responded, you're impossible. I closed the laptop and sanded the bench legs. Sunday, the brunch group had another gathering. I wasn't invited this time. I spent the day in my driveway, fixing the hinge on the side gate, tuning the edger, clearing the garage floor so tools weren't stacked like Jenga. The small order of a clean space. Dave wandered over at noon with lemonade. She came by, he asked. Friday, I said. Deadline's done. He nodded. You want the game on later? Yeah, I said. I'll bring wings. During the game, he said the sentence a good neighbor picks carefully. You know you did the right thing. I did the thing I can live with, I said. That's enough. Monday, papers moved. Tuesday, her email switched tone from plea to frost. Since you've decided, don't contact me except through the service. Wednesday, she tried one more pivot. If you cancel the filing, I'll come home tonight. We'll fix it together. I'll be the wife you deserve. I stared at that one a long time. The map was always there. It just took me too long to read it. Closeness as leverage, Money as handle, public digs as pressure, sweetness as reset. Every move connected to the same target. More resources flowing one way with applause attached. I answered once. Respect is not a coupon you hand me after I pay. Keep the house key you don't have. I'm moving on. There wasn't another email after that beyond a short one about picking up a box of shoes she'd forgotten. Dave put it on the porch. She took it without ringing. Weeks stretched. Work steadied. The house got quieter in a good way. I fixed the drip in the guest bath and replaced a porch light Jenna always said was too practical. I left it practical. I started grilling again, nothing fancy, just meat and salt and neighborhood air. Dave came over on Thursdays. Paul dropped by on Saturdays to borrow tools and stayed to talk about his kids' playoff run. A month later, on a Saturday morning at the supply yard, I ran into Taylor. He looked at me over a stack of lumber. "You look 10 pounds lighter," he said. "I'm 20 lighter," I told him. He shifted his weight. Jenna showed up at Kelsey's last week with a list of expenses. Kelsey asked if she was okay. She said she needed support. Not help. Support. That word does heavy lifting, I said. She also said you embarrassed her, Taylor added. I told the truth in front of people, I replied. If it's embarrassing, that's feedback. He nodded. You want to grab a beer sometime? Lemonade, I said. I'm driving early. We bumped fists and went our ways. 3 months after brunch, I moved the last of Jenna's boxes from the garage to a storage unit and sent the final notice. She'd handled her side quietly. I handled mine. No yelling in the driveway. No midnight speeches. No dramatic goodbyes. Just separate roads. And yeah, life didn't collapse. It built. I redid the kitchen counters with butcher block on a quiet weekend and installed a small coffee bar by the window because I like my morning right there. I bought a used pickup I'd been eyeing and paid cash because payment plans are just bills dressed nice. The shop took off. Word of mouth does what ads can't. I hired a part-timer to handle calls and ordered shirts for the crew with our logo stitched plain. No brands to shout, just our name. I started going to a group ride at the park on Sunday mornings. The first weekend I met Laura. She fixes bikes for a charity, doesn't play games, laughs with her eyes, not at people. We grabbed breakfast after a ride and talked about work and families and the way quiet can be loud in a house. No big confessions. No theater. Just two grown-ups who like steady. I kept my boundaries the way I keep the shop. Swept, clear, no wobbly shelves. She matched it. No one was earning anyone. We were showing up. Neighbors noticed the difference before I did. Dave told me, "You're back to whistling when you mow." I told him I don't whistle. He said I do now. As for Jenna, I heard pieces from outside my circle. Her car disappeared from our street. Michelle posted fewer group photos and more quotes about choosing yourself, which is rich coming from someone who told me to just buy flowers and shut up. Taylor said Jenna moved into a smaller place across town. He didn't know details. He also didn't look curious. That was the correct amount of caring. The only time Jenna's name came up in my inbox after that was a single line, months later. Please send copies of the last utility bill. I scanned and sent them, no commentary. She replied, thanks. That was it. People like to talk about winning and losing like life is a scoreboard. That's a teenager's game. I didn't win. I didn't lose. I enforced the cost of disrespect and regained my air. The last time Jenna and I were in the same space was that patio at Kelsey's. The last time we spoke directly was the exact second I said, I'm not in the market for my own marriage, and turned toward the door. That line still fits. I didn't write it to hurt. I wrote it to mark an address I no longer lived at. If there's a lesson, it's not complicated. You don't bargain with someone who turns love into a meter. You don't explain a boundary 20 times. You said it once, you act, and you live like you meant it. The right people hear you without the megaphone. The wrong people try 2 illusions and move on when the curtain doesn't open. One evening, months after, I was closing the shop when Paul asked, you ever think about what you'd say if she called now? Just out of nowhere. I locked the roll up, checked the latch, and answered, I said it already. He waited. I smiled. Respect is the key we no longer share. He nodded. That's clean. Clean is how I live now, I said. He flipped the light.